KEAN 105, today's best country here on the afternoon show. Super Dave hanging out with you, and we are pleased, thrilled, and honored to be joined by a couple of guys who are going to be jumping up on the stage Friday night at the Lucky Mule for the Taste of Country concert series. It is Steve Branch and Dean Scallon. I pronounced your name right, Dean?
Yeah, that's right.
Phew.
Good.
Phew. It's Branch and Dean joining us via telephone. Hey, how's it going, guys?
Everything's great, man. Hope everything's great on that end, and we are thrilled and honored to be able to come and do a show there, man. Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah,
definitely.
You guys haven't, this is obviously, it's the first trip into Abilene, Texas. How much have y'all managed to be able to come in and play in Texas at all?
Well, we've played a couple places, Corpus and Houston, and, Branch and I are national ambassadors for cystic fibrosis, which we'll get into in a little bit. But, so we've been on radio tour, and we visit all the chapters, all the CF chapters. There's one in Houston, one in San Antonio. So we're starting to get out there. We're kind of still new to the scene, but we've been really blessed, man.
And just by talking with you guys off the air here a little bit, you guys are pretty cool dudes too, and it's
our moms think so, Dave, and they're not biased at all.
All right, well, tell them I agree. All right.
I don't know about. We try to be. The fans pick the winner. We are so winners, and we are so blessed to be able to do this for a living, and it just. I think sometimes we do a show and people come to shake our hands and buy merch and stuff like that. It floors us, and it means so much to us to meet everybody. And so you guys come out, please come shake our hands and talk to us, because you guys out there in Radio Land, you pick the winners, and we get to do what we do because you guys gave us a little bit of your time, and we appreciate it. And we're grateful forever.
Right.
Yes, thank you guys so much.
Awesome. Well, with that kind of attitude, we're going to actually start liking you around here or something like that. I don't know. Now,
that'd be awesome. Hey, go like us on branchanddean.com or branchanddean. That'd be great. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate it.
There you go. Let's talk a little bit about the song. The first one that I heard and the first one that we played on the air here on KEAN 105 was The Dash. And it's one of those where once you let it settle into your mind, it affects people. It affects people in a pretty major way. And The Dash is a song that's personal to you two guys too, right? Explain that all.
It's funny because we say it a lot. Music's intended to change lives, and you just never know sometimes when you write a song, the purpose that it's going to have, and this one's changed our lives tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. The Dash was kind of put together, and we decided to use it for my son because he passed away with cystic fibrosis. That's why, when he passed away, one of the things he wanted to do was be a spokesperson for CF,
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, I didn't know how big CF was. There's chapters everywhere, like Dean was saying. And, if I'd have known that, would have been involved before my son passed away. He would have really loved that. But when he passed away, I called the chapter in Jacksonville, Florida, and Dean called the one in Nashville. And we just, basically, I told Dean, I said, look, I want to donate some money to try to help find the cure for this terrible disease, And we told them our story and told them about my son, and they knew about my son. Somehow, I guess they keep up with all CF patients, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, we want to do something special with you guys. We want to make you guys national celebrity ambassadors for CF. So we get to go around and like Dean said, visit the chapters and meet all the great people. And anybody that has an illness, we have found out, of any kind, we have found out they have a special gift of love and putting other people's first and not worried too much about themselves. And wow, that's amazing in itself. And that's what the Dash is about. Yeah, we've had so many emails and Facebooks and private messages, from people that's lost somebody, that it's kind of like you hear the Dash, and maybe if you don't know the story behind it, you don't really get it. Mm-hmm. But then after you hear the story, it really hits home. And all of those messages have just meant so much to me. It's been very therapeutic. And I want to thank everybody personally for sending me those messages. And I personally get back with each one of them. And I just thank you so much. It has been going all over the country and just
being a part of this CF family. It's meant so much. But, part of the proceeds of the album go towards CF. Mm-hmm. And, you can go to branchanddean.com and get a special, our distributors mail it to your door, so that's a good thing. So check it out there. But it's like Branch said, it's changed for us. It's music with a purpose. We're very blessed and humbled because our foundation will always be the Dash. And as you know, Dave, it's such a tough business. It's not for everybody. And I think sometimes, you can get caught up in of how tough it is and the hustle and the bustle of it. But at the end of the day, our foundation was built on something that changes lives. And, we're not George Strait. We don't know what the God's got intended for us. But I can tell you this, if you get a chance, go to the Branch and Dean, the Dash, the video on YouTube, and read some of those messages. And that's what it's all about.
That's right.
Right.
Just changing people's lives for the better.
Branch and Dean joining us here on the KEAN 105 afternoon show. I want to throw this out there, by the way. You mentioned go to the website and get the CD. How about if you just go up to the concert on Friday night and buy the CD, and maybe we could even get you to autograph it. How about that?
Yeah, man, then we can sign it.
Yeah, there you go.
And no matter where you buy the CD, Dave, it's part of the proceeds still go to CF, so that's a wonderful thing.
Awesome,
yes,
awesome.
It is.
Now, I want to take this a little bit different direction because there is a song called Your Old Lady's Gone, which, first of all, the song title just kind of gets me. But that is something, it's something that you don't really hear today, the direct influences to the roots of country music. And when I'm saying that, anybody who's heard it already knows it's, a Hank Williams kind of an ode to Hank, I guess.
That's right.
How in the world does something like that cross your mind and go pen to paper?
Dave, it's funny because Your Old Lady's Gone. Branch and I grew up together, and I always thought if you're going to be a country singer, you had to sound like everybody on radio, like Branch could, and I couldn't. So I dove into songwriting. Well, one day Branch he called me and said, man, I got this idea for a song. Anyway, as you said, it goes a little something like this. Your old lady's gone, she's alone, gone, your old lady's gone. It's time to move on and say bye-bye. Well, long story short, we wrote that, and years later in Nashville, a couple years later, our producer, Michael Huffman, said, man, I don't know what that is or who that is, but get him up here. And Branch and Dean were born because of that song. And it's funny because we have a manager who manages a guy named George Strait from y'all's neck of the woods, and our manager, he heard that song and he said, man, there's something about that song, and he got on board. So that song has been so instrumental in our career. We get to go to Japan to play in October because of that song, because it's did really well overseas. It's just it's a fun song, and if you really listen to the lyrics, it's just all it's talking about is there's a lot of music's a melting pot nowadays, and there's a lot of different kinds of music, but every now and then some good old country music still exists and applies.
Right on. Right on. Branch and Dean joining us here on the afternoon show on KEAN 105. Guys, you alluded to something already that it kind of surprised me a little bit. Branch and Dean actually grew up together. You kind of get into the notion that when you get duos put together, and especially two like you guys who have two very different styles of singing, that I want to say, like, maybe an executive took two people, put them in a room together and said, you two get along, now you're in a band together, or something like that. But that's not the way it worked out at all. You guys have been just about lifelong friends, haven't you?
That's exactly right. I feel like part of Dean's family, and I hope he feels like part of mine. And
he does.
Somebody asked us how we get along, out on the road, and I commented that we get along better than brothers. And they're like, what do you mean better than brothers? I said, well, brothers argue, We don't argue, man. I just found out, man, early in life, man, I just let him have his way, and we get along fine.
Well, what's really funny? Branch and I, we grew up together. We grew up on the same music, but it takes so much in this industry because you got to be a great singer, great entertainer. You got to understand songs. You got to understand the business. And it's like we both went, we never thought of it because we just always did it together. And when we met back up in Nashville, we both had to go through our schooling of what we do. And that's it's like the right and left hand with me and Branch, because what he does well, maybe I need a little help in, and vice versa. And when it came together, everybody was kind of amazed about the harmonies and and how everything fit together. But really and truly, I mean, it's just always been there. It was kind of part of the plan, I think. And I couldn't do it any other way, to be honest.
I wouldn't want to do it any other way. It's just perfect the way it is, and we're just thrilled to be able to live our dream. Thank you guys for helping us with that, because without you guys, we couldn't do it.
It's a positive attitude like that makes me not be able to do anything but root for you guys. So, good job.
Well, we appreciate that, man. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. It's Branch and Dean. It's Steve Branch and Dean Skellen joining us on the KEAN 105 afternoon show. Coming up on Friday night, they're doing the Taste of Country concert series at the Lucky Mule. Doors open at 7, and there's a young lady that's going to be opening up for you guys, Kayla Adams, that you're a little familiar with. And she's got some pretty doggone impressive talent herself, doesn't she?
Well, you know what?
She's really a great young lady, man. She really is. She's a very humble young lady. I think all you guys will love her if you'll come out and see the show.
Yeah, and you know what? The biggest thing is we're so fortunate with our label, SSM. They seem to get people with a little bit of just real, and we're it's just good to have her on the label because we've done some shows with her, and she's just she's someone you can approach, and that's kind of mine and Branch's style. So we all get along together very well because we know it's about the fans and meeting great people. And we cannot wait to be in Abilene, Texas. We can't wait.
Awesome. Well, we can't wait to have you out here. Looking forward to it so very much. And by the way, folks, I want to make sure I pass along this information. You can get into the show free. Just stop by Junk Warehouse and pick up your free ticket to the concert, and that will get you in free all night long. If you don't have a ticket, it's going to cost you $5. But save all that money and buy the Branch and Dean compact disc and get it autographed by him at the show Friday night. There
you go.
I threw out the perfect scenario for you guys. How about that?
Perfect.
All right. Steve Branch and Dean Skellen, thank you so much for your time today. Have safe travels as you're coming into West Texas, and we will see you Friday night at the Lucky Mule Saloon.
Thank you guys so much.
Can't wait.
We can't wait to meet you, Dave. Thanks, man. Appreciate you.